man was already dead there at the scene. Medics rushed that woman to an area hospital, working to learn what exactly led up to the violence.
Videos here. There have been more than 100 days of protests, often violent. Does the president think the mayor of that city and the governor of the state have handled the 100 days of protests and riots in Portland properly?
You said, does the president believe that? Or do you mean Vice President Biden?
If I said that, I meant Vice President Biden.
Vice President Biden believes that the single biggest difference between success and failure with respect to safety in these communities has been Donald Trump, not the local leadership. It has been Donald Trump pouring gasoline on the fire and causing more damage, more wreckage, more division, more violence, inciting his supporters, for example, to drive convoys through the streets, firing paintball and spraying pepper spray on protesters. That's what Joe Biden wants to stop.
What some people fail to realize that you are required to carry your identification with you. And if you do not have your identification in your possession, you can be held without being charged up to 72 hours. It's just so they can find out who you really are. So, to avoid problems, keep your ID with you. And do yourself a favor. Don't resist arrest.
About the travel restrictions that the president had just imposed. Are we to believe it was just a coincidence that he was talking about xenophobia the day that the president announced travel restrictions on China?
Well, first of all, Chris, independent fact checkers, including PolitiFact, have looked at the claim that Joe Biden was opposed to the China travel restrictions, and they have deemed that claim false. It's not a coincidence. Joe Biden was talking about Donald Trump's record from the beginning of demonizing Chinese Americans, of giving names to this virus, of raising questions about whether
in their trust. Voters trust Biden to do a better job on the coronavirus and race by a wide margin. Despite the president's focus on law and order, the two candidates are basically tied there. The one big issue where Trump leads is the economy. Britt, what does that tell you about the state of the race at this point, 51 days before Election Day, to the degree that Election Day matters anymore?
Well, I think the economy, of course, will be a major issue, the one that the president, despite the fact that we're in this severe recession caused by the virus and the lockdowns, the fact that he still has a lead there shows that that's likely to endure to election.
The mail system isn't running very fast, right? I mean, the Postal Service has warned us at least 7 to 10 days before the election to send in your ballot. And so now this federal court is saying you can postmark it on Election Day. That will guarantee our votes aren't coming to count until Friday after the election. And it's just going to create utter chaos. You can get a ballot in on time. Over 1 million Georgians have already ordered their absentee ballots. Do it now. There's no need to wait until November the 3rd to do it. You're going to create a significant systemic problem.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thanks, everyone. Coming up, Senator David Perdue.
We're trying to not even condemn some of the violence and looting. That's helping with suburban and moderate and independent voters. I cited the Landmark Communications poll last week with Trump over Biden in the state of Georgia. And I think that it's going to be tough for the Democrats like Ossoff or the others to try to bring back these moderate suburban voters that are very upset that the police are being handcuffed and the Democrats have this permissive image.
Governor Kemp is the #1 cheerleader for Senator Loeffler. Obviously, he appointed her and is devoting a lot of time to traveling around the state. He and First Lady Marty Kemp is as well. And I think what the Ralston endorsement did was allow more members of the General Assembly to come out publicly for Doug Collins. Many of them in the House served with Doug in the House, so there's personal relationships there. So a lot of them are probably a little nervous about being on the other side of Governor Kemp. That makes perfectly good sense. But having their speaker come out gave them the opening to do it. Now, does it move a lot of votes? No. But But what it does is it gives campaigns something to talk about. It gives them a way to show momentum and to show that they have broad support. You know, obviously, you don't want the other side to have everybody and for you to have nobody. So as far as the tit for tat, it's good for the day-to-day campaigning. Doesn't move a lot of votes unless President Trump comes in.
Darren, let's talk about that.
What this overall poll shows is the race overall nationally has tightened to some extent. That's good for Trump, but most of the other numbers in this poll are not good for him and suggest to me at least that he needs to campaign more effectively as he did in the closing days of the campaign in 2016, where he sharpened his focus, stopped the Twitter stuff, campaigned hard in the key battleground states, and pulled out the election. This is another election where he'll need to pull it out.
I hate to break this to you, Chris Wallace, but your pollsters don't know crap when it comes to senior citizens and who's supporting Trump and who is going to vote for Trump. You got it wrong. Trust me on that one. Missing fire hydrant on North Highland Avenue. Out here at the no man's land. Whatever that address is there. It looks like a junkyard. I'm at the Greenwood entrance where the relay bikes go. And it's just ridiculous here. Scooters all out in the street. What the hell's going on here? The city ain't doing its job. There's more scooters blocking the walkway up. I mean, these people are idiots. They haven't got a lick of common sense. Somebody set their fire alarm off a little while ago, and then it got turned off. Well, they're supposed to turn the elevators back on. And guess what? Fire department left. They didn't do shit. They turned the alarm off, but they didn't turn the fucking elevators back on. And this is a building full of senior citizens with wheelchairs, and these morons can't keep these goddamn elevators running. I think it's time for a fucking lawsuit on this management company. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm able to get outside my building, finally! So fucking pissed off, this managers. Stupid people.